But here's what opened my eyes up even more, and I hate to say this about the kid because I think he's a great young man, but you can't deny the cold hard facts. Men lie, women lie, but guess what? Numbers never lie. So as we all know, there's approximately about 4,000 quarterbacks in the transfer portal, and there's going to be more and more and more entering every single day. And this year already, I think it's more than safe to say that about 8 to 10 of these quarterbacks in the portal, they would start at a lot of big-time schools. But however, there is one quarterback in particular that is polarizing quite a bit of people. And it's really interesting, at least to me, because for most of these quarterbacks, it's relatively simple. Most people are going to look at a top 10 list and go, okay, yeah, that guy's really good, and okay, yeah, I'm not too high on that guy. But for this one guy, there's so many mixed feelings, emotions, and opinions, and what makes it even 10 times more interesting is you got big time, and I'm talking about your top 10 schools going after him, and apparently and allegedly, he's one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the entire portal. And here's the kicker with all of this. These schools, and I'm talking about championship contender schools, they're drilling all over him, but his numbers suck. And it's even baffled me to a certain extent because last night is when I really took notice of it. I saw a couple people tweeting about it saying, why are people going after him? This guy's not even that good and blah, 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 blah. And me personally, I like the kid and he just passes the eye test for me. So I just brushed it to the side. I was like, yeah, it's just somebody yapping on Twitter. But then I saw another tweet about it and I was like, all right, I'm kind of curious. I want to see what his numbers look like. Is there any facts and evidence to back up these claims that he's not that good? And yeah, I pulled up his numbers and when I saw him, I dropped my mouth. We're going to talk all about that in today's video. And also, we got to talk about what happened last night with the Heisman ceremony. We don't get a jam-packed video for you on your Sunday because I really want to focus on this quarterback situation. It should still be a good video, rather less. Strap in, buckle up, get your popcorn, get your snack, get your favorite meal you like to eat and watch a video because trust me, I do the same thing. And oh yeah, real quick, guys, we have officially hit 306,000 subscribers. Why is that important, you may ask? Because now we are less than 4,000 subscribers away from hitting our goal of 310K. I did want to give some recognition in this because when I set the goal of hitting 310K for this channel before the New Year's, I thought we could do it, but also thought it was going to be really, really hard. And we're still not there, but we're getting closer every day. Thank you to all new subscribers, and if you want to help us reach our goal, it's simple, subscribe. I'm not here to pitch you. If you like the content, you know what to do. But all right, Matt, blah, blah, blah. Shut the crap up. Now for that dope. That was kind of rough. Let's get into it. All right, so first things first, I posted this video a couple of days ago where I broke down to you how the 12-team playoff and format is going to look and just all the details. If you want to see it, feel free to check it out. And I asked you guys in that video, let me know your opinions on this, and I'll read off a couple comments, and yeah, here we are. We're going to do that. Here's what Matthew Rose had to say, one of the top comments. Thank you for leaving this. Unpopular opinion, but someone will always complain about being left down as an at-large. Pretty soon it will turn up to 16, 20, etc. The very same people that didn't like the computerized system, BCS, are now complaining about the CFP. It will turn into a never-ending cycle until everyone gets a trophy. I definitely understand what he's saying, and to a certain extent he's right. Anything and everything in this life, you're always going to have a couple people throwing a hissy fit. But to me personally, I don't think there's going to be too much, or I don't know what's going to happen, but there shouldn't be too much complaining. Because what's the whole gripe with this 14 playoff? Hey, Ohio State, they had a heck of a season, and they still didn't get in. They only lost one game, and it's all for nothing. Same thing for Georgia, and even Oregon. I know they lost 2, but they lost to Washington, really good team, and they're not getting in. There's a legit case and argument for the top 8 teams this year that anybody could beat anybody. But to be honest, I don't think there should be, at least, much complaining because if you don't make the 12-team playoff, you didn't just mess up once in your regular season or in your conference championship. You messed up multiple times. There's really going to be no excuse, and I think a 12-team playoff is perfect without devaluing the regular season too much. Taking this comment from Cool John, teams like LSU, Penn State, Utah, Ole Miss, and Oregon might be serious playoff contenders in the 12-team playoff. They usually average 10-2 or 9-3 seasons, and I agree. The biggest winner in the 12-team playoff is most definitely, or winners in this case and scenario, Ole Miss and Penn State. And I'd more so have say Penn State because the past several years, what has been their biggest kryptonite? They can win 9 or 10 games a year. They just can't beat Ohio State and Michigan. We'll go with 2 more comments here, and unfortunately, we got to get a move on, and we could turn this into a playoff video because I just love talking about the scenarios and all this good stuff. PR Sports said, thank you for this comment, the home games are going to be insane. I do believe, however, the committee will re-rank teams to where we don't have repeat matchups, which I think is good because I don't want to see an Ohio State-Penn State game in the first round. That's going to be interesting, and I don't know because the committee doesn't want to do what's right and what's, fair. Their goal is to get the 12 best team. It doesn't matter what the order is. If they think Penn State is the 10th best team and Ohio State is the 7th best team, that's where they're going to go. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they will try to avoid rematch games. I think they might do it, but I wouldn't be shocked if you do see some rematches. One more comment from Drew here. He said, it makes the conference championship games matter more. It's good for the game, and if a team starts off 2-2, they can still run the table. The first round, how top 4 get a bye, and the 5 and 8 get home games is good for the sport. And the bowl games matter now. It's good for the group of 5 to get a chance to compete, in which I agree with. I do like the auto bids. It's going to be good. I want to go up to this point here, and I don't want to spend too much time on it, but where he said it's good for the game because a team can go 2-2 and still run the table, that's what I'm talking about. What has been the biggest argument everyone has stated as to why they don't like the 12-team playoff? Oh, well, it devalues the regular season. And I don't understand that logic because I've always stated it's going to increase the value of the regular season. Because with the 14 playoff, how have we looked at it? Oh yeah, if you lose 2 games, season over. And me personally, I've stated this before, I'm going to state it again. When it's late in the regular season, and let's just say, for example, you got number 10 Oregon playing number 13 Utah, I didn't care to watch the game. There's nothing on the line. They're fighting for nothing. But now when it's late in the regular season, you got number, let's just say 14 LSU playing number 7 Alabama. Yeah, that's going to be a huge game. And you could argue and say even if you lose 3 games, the season's not over yet. We really got to get a move on, though. I could sit up here and read off all your guys' comments all day long because I just love the different perspectives and insights, but we got to get a move on to our second topic. And that is no other than the Heisman. It was officially handed out to Jayden Daniels, and clap it up, clap it up. I would have voted for him. I thought he should have won the award, and he did. I'll show it to you right here. Here was your top 10, and I really don't have any complaints. It was pretty close, though, because I think Jayden Daniels had, 2,100 points, and Michael Penix Jr. had about 1,700. I saw a couple arguments here and there talking about, oh, well, he inflated his stats against Georgia State, and I'm like, dude, how big of a hater do you got to be to when a young man wins a Heisman Trophy, you're still critiquing him? Come on, man. That's really all I got to say about it, guys. Congrats to Jayden Daniels and congrats to the LSU fan base. But now, finally, moving on to the main topic of the main encore, the main reason you clicked onto this video. What is going on with this quarterback in the portal? Well, my friend, I'm glad you asked. This mysterious quarterback in the portal I'm referring to goes by the name of Riley Leonard. Even if you're a casual college football fan, that name should ring a bell. If you don't know who it is, it's the quarterback for Duke, or former quarterback for Duke. He's in the portal. He's regarded as one of the top quarterbacks in the portal, and it's being rumored that he's going to take a visit to Ohio State, and he's most recently visited with Notre Dame. It looks like, as when I'm speaking, and keep in mind this could change at any given minute and hour, it's a 2-team race between Notre Dame and Ohio State. And we all know this, Notre Dame and Ohio State, easily top 15 teams. And everywhere you look, ESPN, 24/7 Sports, On3, etc., all these places that do these top 10 transfer portal quarterback rankings, they all have Riley Leonard somewhere in the top 5. And like I was telling you guys in the intro, I didn't think too much of it up until last night when I saw a bunch of people on Twitter talking about, hey, why is this guy so highly rated? He's not very good. I thought that was delusional to even say that because when I watched him this year, I thought it was really good, really solid. He passed the eye test for me. He really did. He's a great runner. He's going to give it 110%, and when he has time, he makes really solid throws. I would consider him a dual threat quarterback, and he has a little, I know it's a cliche comparison, but Josh Allen in him. But when I pulled up his stats last night, I was shocked, to say the least. Right before I pulled him up, I was like, he probably had 2,000 passing yards, something like 15 touchdowns to maybe a couple interceptions. Because when you're watching the games, you're not really keeping up with it. And like I said, he passed the eye test, so I thought he put up decent numbers. Well, come to find out, I couldn't have been any farther from the truth. Take a look at this. These are his stats. No, this isn't from one game, no, these are his stats from 2023. 1,100 passing yards, only 3 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. That's it. I was just baffled to see he only had 3 touchdown passes. Granted, you got to throw in there, and this is where you can cherry pick numbers. You see these numbers, they look awful, but then you look at his QBR, top 30 in the nation. That was good. And like I said, with the cherry picking the stats thing, you also got to throw in there, he averaged over 6 yards per carry, and he had 4 rushing touchdowns. But still, even at that, in total this year, for 2023, he only had 7 touchdowns. I can't even fathom that. Because to me, at least, I'm like, dude, this guy's a flat-out baller, man. I thought he at least had 20-something. Only having 7 touchdowns is crazy to me, but you also got to throw in there's a reason for that. It was a combination of, number 1, he was hurt this year. Number 2, he would get him all the way down to the 10, 5-yard line, and they just handed the ball off. It was just one of those things. What's the best comparison I can use? You know that running back that can always get 100 yards per game, but you look at his stats and on the season, he only has 4 touchdowns? Yeah, it was something like that. And I can't harp on this enough. You got to throw in there, make sure you emphasize this. He only played in 7 games. But here's what opened my eyes up even more, and I hate to say this about the kid because I think he's a great young man, but you can't deny the cold hard facts. Men lie, women lie, but guess what? Numbers never lie. In his last 3 ball games against Notre Dame, he was 12 for 27. That is pitiful. At least it's pitiful through the air. On the ground, he was awesome. 18 carries for 88 yards. Fast forward in time to his next ball game against Florida State. Pitiful again, 7 for 16. And then last but not least, against Louisville, didn't even score, got shut out 23-0. He was 9 for 23. Awful. His last 3 games, he didn't complete more than 45% of his passes in any of them. I will also throw this in there. I watched the Louisville game. He probably shouldn't have been playing. I don't even know why he was playing. That dude was nipped up. He shouldn't have been out there. But just like my granddad told me growing up, if you're out there playing, you must not be hurt too bad. But even with these bad numbers, and I know this is going to sound crazy, I still think he's perfectly rated. I think he's a top 3 or 4 quarterback in the transfer portal. But I will say this, I definitely understand the people that aren't on the Riley Leonard hype train, because when you take a look at these numbers, you can justify it. You can justify with cold hard facts as to why he's not that great of a quarterback. But here's what these numbers aren't going to tell you. In all 3 of these matchups against Notre Dame, Florida State, and Louisville, he was going up against a solid defense. In all 3 of these matchups, he didn't have much time to throw the ball, and a bunch of those incompletions was just getting the ball out of his hands. I'll put it to you like this. Let's just say it looks like he's going to transfer to Notre Dame. I don't think he'd ever go a 3-game stretch, something like this. No. Not going to happen. He'll have better O-line, better wide receivers, and I didn't even throw that in there. Look, he's not throwing to the greatest wide receivers and tight ends either. I get the numbers don't exactly back it up, but I'm telling you, I think this kid's the real deal. You surround him with weapons, you surround him with a great offensive line, and he gets healthy, I think he could be one of the best quarterbacks in the country. It's definitely interesting, though, because you can argue and say that he might be slightly overrated, and I couldn't be mad at that. Me personally, though, I like him. Let me know your thoughts down below. But